Tonight, see which department will be offering a graduate program.
Plus, find out what changes the city of Troy will be making to stay better connected with its residents. Stay tuned. Troy TrojanVision Nightly News starts now.
From the high-definition digital production center on the Troy campus, with news from Troy University locations around the world, this is Troy TrojanVision Nightly News.
Hello and welcome to Troy TrojanVision Nightly News for September 19th, 2013. I'm Haley Greathouse.
And I'm Courtney Addison. Thank you for joining us this evening. Troy police have identified the man who was found dead in a pond off Diana Street in Troy yesterday morning. Police say the Department of Forensic Science has identified the deceased to be 44-year-old Robert Earl Teague of Troy. Teague was reported missing on Saturday by family and was recovered on Wednesday after being discovered by a person cutting grass around the pond off Diana Street. At this time, no foul play is believed to have occurred in Teague's death, but the case remains under investigation by Troy police.
The city of Troy is hoping residents will like the city, but not in the way most people might immediately expect. The city now has a presence on Facebook, and as Christina Cook shows us, that is one of many technological changes residents will see from the city.
The city of Troy should expect some changes to the old approach to questions and issues regarding the city.
We're working right now on a 311 program. That's one of the things that when I took office, we wanted to talk about customer service and ways to help people, especially in a town like Troy, because as you move into town, you don't know, where do I pay my light bill, where do I register to vote, where do I get information on this or that. So whatever their city issue is, whatever the question is, it'll be able to be answered.
And as Mayor Reeves explains, this new launch into a more tech-savvy city is just the changes that the city of Troy needs, while still catering to every age range.
I think this is a way that we can bridge the gamut of technology and communication, and we want to be able to communicate with you in your preferred method. We want to make sure that we can communicate with college students, whether it's via Twitter or Facebook or those types of things, because we know that's the way that you like to communicate. So we want to make sure that we are there for everyone from the 18-year-old college freshman to go to the mobile app, whether it's Android or iPhone, to the 88-year-old senior who wants to pick up their phone and dial 311.
And what will these new changes mean to the city of Troy?
It's not really an operational change. I mean, we have people right now that are doing these things every day, but this is just a way for us, a tool to manage what we're doing and to bring in information and then manage our resources to make sure that we're meeting the people's needs and making sure that they know that this was handled.
Christina Cook, Troy, TrojanVision News.
And you can find the City of Troy's Facebook page at facebook.com/City of Troy, Alabama. Reeves says he hopes the 311 system will be online by mid-October. Well, there are roughly around 170 student organizations on Troy's campus.
Well, that's right, Haley. And with that many organizations, it might seem like a challenge to keep all of those organizations informed about campus policies concerning their group. Jordan Elston shows us how it's done.
Troy University's Office of Student Involvement is responsible for all of the student organizations on campus. Over the past few weeks, the office has held a series of meetings for the presidents of those organizations to update them about information important to their organization.
Some of the tips that we gave them were how to advertise their event, getting updates on homecoming, also some of the forms that are due into our office too for the organization.
And publicizing was one of the main tips some of the presidents say they felt would help their organizations.
Most definitely how to advertise on campus, because right now we'd set up flyers and stuff. Now we can actually put out on media, use Trojan Today, stuff like that. More appealing ways to get to people.
More about creating awareness of the organization. We should be trying to do a lot more community service and fundraisers and actually let the school know what we're doing so we're not working, out of school conduct.
Even though publicizing the organizations and events was considered an important tip, Williams says there are some ways that the school does not want organizations to publicize, and this meeting helped get out those changes.
Some of the places that they cannot advertise the events is we want to try and make sure that students are not using sidewalk chalk on the different buildings and also on different walls they have on campus. That requires our physical plant to go out and clean them, and it kind of makes it kind of a little dirty. Also want students to kind of stay away from putting their stuff on the mirrors. That also causes the physical plant to do little extra cleaning also.
Jordan Elston, Troy, TrojanVision News.
There will be another President's meeting on Monday at 4 o'clock in Trojan Center Room 224.
And now taking a look at news from around the state, in Montgomery, Alabama's banking department plans to start a database of payday loans to make sure lenders don't issue more of the loans than state law allows. State law prohibits payday lenders from issuing new loans to customers who have more than $500 in existing payday loan debt.
And also in Montgomery, Governor Robert Bentley has scheduled a primary election for December 3rd to begin the process of replacing Democratic State Representative Demetrius Newton of Birmingham, who died last week. Governor Bentley announced Wednesday that a runoff will be held on January 28th if necessary, and the general election will be on March 25th. If no runoff is needed, the general election will be moved up to January 28th.
And in Opelika, a jury is recommending life in prison for Joshua Russell following his conviction on a capital murder charge in the 2011 killing of Anniston police officer Justin Solohub. 8 of the 12 jurors recommended a life sentence without the possibility of parole. The rest voted for Russell to receive the death penalty. A judge will decide the punishment during a November hearing.
And still to come on TrojanVision Nightly News, the Trojan football team is gearing up to battle the Bells. Mitchell Spoon will explain when he joined us with sports. Now Mitchell Spoon joins us with sports. So Mitchell, it seems like it's been quite some time since we got to see the Trojan football team in action.
That's right. They're gearing up to head to Starkville, Mississippi this weekend and hopefully dish out a little bit of revenge from last season's loss. Want to get more into that starting right now in sports. The football team will be back in non-conference action this week and taking on one of the big dogs of the SEC, who may be best known for a storied tradition in the stands. Danielle Percival has more.
Starkville, Mississippi, home of the Cowbell. Head coach Larry Blakeney made some bold comments earlier in the week in regards to the noise his team will have to deal with on Saturday.
I hope they're loud as they could ever been over there, because noise doesn't really bother our offense.
And what Blakeney asked for, the players can't wait to experience.
No, I'm really excited to play in front of a crowd like that. I can't wait. A lot of guys on the team from Mississippi, they talk about the Cowbells, but we still got to play defense. We still have to play ball, so it doesn't even matter. Not to me.
But Wilson said what's happening in the stands won't affect his performance in the game.
For me, when I'm on the field, I'm on the field. I'm not looking out for the crowds. I'm not hearing that. I'm trying to get my assignment and get focused. So, you just got to be able to tune it out. So it's not a distraction.
However, not every player blocks out the crowd.
I like how their fan section is usually behind us, and I like how they talk sometimes. It gets me pumped.
On Saturday, you can almost bet Bulldog fans will have the Cowbells out in full force.
I'm sure since I'm opening my mouth that they'll be the noisiest they've ever been in Starkville, and that'll be fine. The thing that bothers me is those big SEC football players we're going to have to line up against.
Danielle Percival, Troy, TrojanVision Sports.
The Trojans and the Bulldogs face off Saturday at 6:30 in Starkville. The game will be televised on Fox Sports South. And the Troy men's and women's tennis teams opened their season on Friday in New Orleans at the Big Easy Tennis Classic. The individual play event features a double draw and 3 singles on both the men's and women's side and runs from Friday to Sunday. Both teams will be seeing their first action under new head coaches, and for the men, they will be led by Scott Kidd, while Rawia El-Sisi leads the women. Troy will send 7 female student athletes and 3 male student athletes to the event. Last season, the Troy women competed in the tournament and won 2 singles draws while advancing to the finals in double draws. The men's team didn't compete in the event last season. And while the Trojan volleyball team has enjoyed its success at home so far, going 2-0, they will need to bring that success out of the confines of Trojan Arena as they travel to Clemson to participate in the Clemson Classic beginning on Friday. The Trojans haven't been very fortunate away from Trojan Arena, going 3-6 early on in the season, but hopefully this weekend the Trojans can use the experience they have had with recent wins against Georgia Tech and Alabama State to push them to a good showing in South Carolina. Head coach Sonny Kirkpatrick knows his team is going up against some good competition, but also knows how good his girls can be as well.
Played Delaware on Friday. They're an NCAA team year in and year out. They win their conference and their conference tournament. Stats are almost exactly alike, hitting percentage, defense. It's basically a mirror image match, and we're looking forward to playing them. 2 different styles of play, and it's always fun to play teams that you don't really ever see or get a chance to play.
The Trojans' first match comes against the Delaware Blue Hens, with first set scheduled for 3:30. And the Troy soccer team is looking to end its non-conference portion of its schedule on a high note with a pair of victories this weekend. The Trojans host the Gardner-Webb Running Bulldogs at the Troy Soccer Complex on Friday afternoon at 4, before traveling to Kennesaw State at noon on Sunday. Troy snapped a 3-game losing streak last Sunday against Murray State and improved their record to 3-5. The Trojans look to get their 100th victory in program history and give Coach Chris Bentley his 50th win as head coach. The matchup between Troy and Gardner-Webb will be the first meeting between the two schools since 2004, when both were members of the Atlantic Sun Conference. But Coach Chris Bentley says he knows what to expect from their former conference foe.
Gardner-Webb's a little bit slower. They like to possess the ball, and they'll probably slow us up, and we'll have to step up our side of things to try to speed it up, to take them out of their element. I think Gardner-Webb, it'll be a matter of us realizing we need to dictate play right away from the off. And if we can do that, it'll be great.
Again, the Trojans will play tomorrow at the soccer complex with kickoff set for 4 p.m. So, Courtney, Haley, hopefully the Trojans can go into Starkville and get that huge upset, and hopefully the soccer team can get that 100th win in program history and give Coach Bentley his 50th.
Exactly. Best of luck to all the Trojan teams.
Mm-hmm.